They have given me some very good reasons why they can't change things here. This time I'll speak to an NGO, the UWS. Maybe it will have greater capacity to engage the NFA authority. As you can see, we don't have them here, so I think we have to push a little harder. These community members have expressed those serious concerns, and they have written a memorandum which they will hand to UWS Executive Secretary, highlighting their concerns. The kind of trees ideally you should be seeing should be about this size, or that size, or that size, not these smaller ones. And at a density that is more or less here. But when you take a walk, you'll see that there's a huge difference. If you have the stamina to walk through right into the village, you'll see that there are actually more trees in the villages than in the forest. And that is why the concern is, why then do we have a forest reserve? Maybe we should let people take up these pieces of land and plant trees. After all, they are doing very well out there. This is a picnic site. There were several picnic seats within here, and that latrine was looking much better than that, donated by UNDP. Again, these are the challenges you meet with the common property management. You can hardly see any seat here. Now, when I say seat, they are not plastic or wooden or metallic chairs that are movable. They were concrete, huge concrete. You see that size of concrete? Yeah. You know? But people removed them. I understand, because they wanted the metallic wires, 1 or 2 wires in it there. And so you don't find them when they are here. The doors were removed, the bars were removed. But they also argued that for a long time this place was here and wasn't being used as a picnic site anyway. So there was the other argument of, this is wasted property, because turn it to other uses. I want to say, they said the picnic site can be used, or the camping site can be used, because this security is an issue. Now we have a police post right there. So, since you are students, I think you can be a little thinking of why these dynamics. Well, you have to see the report from here, but in terms of the collective thinking of these students and what we can do. Join the walk, but I will be available for the discussion after the walk. Now you have a choice to ask me any quick question now or later. If you ask me,
it's called Celtis, yeah? Celtis, C-E-L-T-I-S. And it's very easy to tell from how the leaves look like. There are 3 main veins from the bottom of the leaf. This is, you see, there are 3 leaves on it. Each branch, it's a compound leaf. If you get that leaf and you crush it, it smells like an orange. It's in the orange family. Okay? And then and the builders, there's a tree they used to make the crops. Yeah, that wood, which it's not good wood. So if they are making columns, you know, with metals, they make a frame and then pour the concrete in. They use chirungu.
But is what? Can I repeat my index number?
Eri mutaka lya forest waliwo omuntu yakwata oba yasasula yapangisa mu forest naja nazimbawo emiti ezo.
No, but they don't plant on the boundary. We will check.
NFA
Kati ffe tulaba ze n'empapuro ze zivudde eri mu palamenti bamusindise yapangisa.
Aliko ne police.
Tewali omuntu ayinza okuyingira omuntu atemamu omuti.
Ekyo kyekisinga.
Tulaba nti ekyo kisiga.
Kati emiti gyo gije.
Ebabwe balime emiti.
Tulime emiti, tuteekemu emiti, tulime nanka n'emmere.
Attaka lisinga just bushira biri.
Now, otunula side eno olabayo emiti eno eri waliwo emiti. Temuli. Bamuwa akantu, babayo akantu.
Nga ffe abatuuze tetulina kyakukola. Ate ekyokubiri kwekyo ekibira kino kyakuba nnyo obwavu omulirwana olw'ebisolo ebiva muno. Kyakuba nnyo obwavu omulirwana. Oba mubadde mwagala kutunula kuwalinga bwekyagenda.
Hey.
Their work, what we see as community people, we see them, their contribution is 95 to destroy the forest. Because nobody can enter there to burn charcoals without registering to them.
Oh, so charcoal, they are first
Register there first.
I see,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And collecting firewood, I see.
This
one's just collecting.
Yeah, they just collect firewood. But sometimes when they are bankrupt, they arrest them and they charge them some money.
Okay.
Yes.
About your concern?
Because they come from Tororo. When they ask them, they say you go to Tororo. But the local person, how can you start to go to Tororo? That's why we
complain.
It is very difficult for the local people. Even the LOCC, because we are not involved with them, we are not together with them. They are doing their work, they have a camp there, they arrest people. What people, they go there to pay for their people whom they have arrested.
And finished.
Yeah, and finished.
Yeah, but how do you see the forest? Do you think something can be done?
If the good management, when we get good management, it can come up and we work together with the local people around it can come up within a short period, so long as we get good management. That's what we try.
I think you are right, because we have seen there are so many young trees that are coming up, so the forest can actually recover. And
within a short period,
people have not settled.
We have never crossed even the border. As some people in the area we hear around the news that they have entered the forest. No, but only the management.
Some people have not planted crops in there, so it's just
management.
Yeah. I did. We rounded off like this, and I just wanted you to know that all those places should have had trees like this, okay? And that's a forest reserve, okay? All those places you see, open places, should be forest reserves. But you see what we are seeing there. Now that we are going to talk to the forestry people, they are going to give us a background. And kind of find out what happened. Why do we have bare land there when we should actually have that trees like here, okay? We are going to talk about, they're going to tell us about how they are managing, the management challenges, and what has gone wrong. Because this is, I should say, public good, natural sources which are public goods, isn't it? Forest reserves. So what went wrong? Public goods, forest reserves, central forest reserves are supposed to be managed by government. We have NFA in charge, isn't it? You know all those things. But why do we now have those places which are grassland? We have different things there. We want to know. And we are having common property in perspective.
As I put it, as Dr. put it, we are staff of this fair on ground here. People speaking to you are called Sabina Manja. The sector manager, and these are the staff with whom I work here. And since they are ably standing before you, I'll not do that task of introducing them, but I'll ask them to say their names and where they work. I start with you.
I'm called Hadu Nisaka. I'm the forest supervisor for West Bugwe Kusia district. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alice Walusi, forest supervisor for Bugwe.
Good afternoon. My name is Ford, forest supervisor.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think I'll have a chance of saying more words after this. Thank you.
Okay. Uganda Wildlife Society. So I'm here in my capacity as Executive Secretary. We organized this event of the Nature Walk to actually raise awareness about what is taking place in the West Bugwe Forest Reserve. But we also organized this activity in collaboration with the National Forest Authority and the Uganda Wildlife Authority. For some reasons, we are not able to have representation from OWA. The staff was supposed to come from Bali, but they were on another assignment, so we do not have them with us, but we are happy to have NFA here. And for NFA and community members, I have with me students of land use management from Makerere University. I also have tour company representatives who are members of Uganda Wildlife Society. We also have the academia. We have Dr. Nicholas Perpetua from the College of Natural Sciences, Makerere University. A member of Uganda Wildlife Society, but also representing the academia. And of course, we have Mr. Makasa. He talked to us at the teaching site, but he's also a member of Uganda Wildlife Society, as well as a member of the community, and I think a conservationist. Now, having given you that background, I just want to give a brief presentation. This is a research that we conducted this year, I think from about June, July there, on human-wildlife conflicts in eastern region, and also in one district in the Albertine Rift. This research, we are doing it in collaboration with the communities adjacent to protected areas, but also with the local governments around, in the 5 districts we're working in, and Uganda Wildlife Authority and the National Forest Authority. I think that is why Sector Manager got order from above to be with us here. So this is really not detailed presentation about what is the research findings are, but I thought I would pick a highlight for you to know, after having a good nature walk, what are the issues. Already the students were saying, I was told that students of land use were saying this forest should be converted to sugarcane plantation. I don't know. But that's a feedback I'm getting after your nature walk. I just wanted to say that, as you all know, protected areas in the eastern region are largely neglected. And because they are neglected, they are undergoing serious degradation. I think we've seen this from the nature walk we had. So this research was really to find out the nature and extent of human-wildlife conflicts around protected areas in eastern region, but we also covered one district in the Albertine Rift. And our objective in the research was to generate knowledge on the nature of human-wildlife conflicts and strategies required to resolve these and protect wildlife in protected areas. So you have been, you had this nature walk, and when we're talking about wildlife, I think that you know that forests are part of them, isn't it? And when we talk about human-wildlife conflicts, if we are having deforestation, that's to me a conflict. Do you feel like that's a conflict? If the forests cannot survive in their ecological integrity because of some human interventions, then that's a conflict. It's a human-wildlife conflict, and it's in that perspective that we have presented this work to you. So in specific, we went out to determine the nature of human-wildlife conflicts around the Victoria shores. River Malaba is in Tororo, and the West Bugwe Forest Reserve is where you have been having the nature walk. But also we collected data from the Queen Elizabeth National Park, Action, Bugwe Wildlife Reserve, and Bugwe in the Albertine Rift. And our aim was to kind of identify the nature of conflicts, but also from community perspectives, get what would be their thoughts on strategies that would be used to address the human-wildlife conflicts that we see there. So, we had a hypothesis for this research, but I will not go into that. I will just go into the expected outputs, that is, we expected to generate knowledge on the nature, extent, and impacts of human-wildlife conflicts around those protected areas selected, and also identify some strategies that would be applicable for resolving conflicts identified. I will also not go into details of methodology, but I will just tell you that it was random sampling and individual interviews at household levels in 6 districts that really, in 6 districts that have the protected areas that we had, or that were of our interest. And the districts, of course, were Bugwe, Lisa, Hoiva, Kasese, and Tororo. There was also Namayingo and Mayuge district. This is, I think this is West Bugwe. The forest reserve captured in this map, I think, capture the communities adjacent to West Bugwe and the West Bugwe Forest Reserve itself. So sampling was done in transects, and these transects were sent from the forest, the protected area boundaries outward into communal lands, because we're looking at the nature extent of human-wildlife conflicts. It starts right from the protected areas, but might go deep into the communities, and this is what we wanted to capture. So we did individual interviews, and we have detailed results, but I just wanted to highlight that what we found were the most critical human-wildlife conflicts is actually cooperating or destruction of crops by wildlife coming out of protected areas into communal lands. And as you can see, that was the majority of respondents reported that, about 61%. And the other conflicts that we captured when we analyzed data which was collected from about 350 households were deaths, human and domestic animal deaths from wildlife attacks. And then when we looked at the perceived impacts, what do communities adjacent to these protected areas perceive as the impact of the human-wildlife conflicts? It also came down to impacts on crop yields. The people were saying they are not able to harvest enough because much of their crops are destroyed by wildlife, or they are not able to attend to their crops much because they are disturbed by wildlife. You see that also takes a higher percentage, almost 61%. It's the same percentage that reported the conflict, and it's also the same percentage that reported the impact, which is really destruction of crops, and the second one being what? Death of humans and domestic animals. Now, when we came down to suggested strategies to address the human-wildlife conflict, we found a majority of the respondents suggested that wildlife should be confined to fences and sanctuaries. I think in Busitam we are talking about baboons. In the Albertine, around the Makshon, maybe there were problems with hippos. And the Victoria Shores, Mayunge, they were talking about crocodiles. So when we asked them how do we address these problems, their responses, majority say they should be confined. The wildlife should be confined. But remember, they're only talking about these things in their perspectives. So what should we then do to the forest? You observe that maybe the people are also destroying forests, isn't it? They may also be killing the wildlife. We only need to know how much they are killed. So, but we are talking to people and we're not talking to wildlife. However, we're going to be planning landings. So you're interested in tourism as tour companies. So we should be balanced in our thinking of synthesizing these results. While we need to confine wildlife, then what do you do to the wildlife destruction on the other side by communities? We've just seen that the forest is degraded. Of course, we're going to hear from the communities what they think should be done, because when you remove and you destroy the forest and you no longer have it, you still go back to having impacts on what? Community livelihoods and even environment in general. So basically that's what we had, and when we asked the communities whom do you think should intervene then to do the things that you're suggesting should be done, it's overwhelming that most people think that it's the government responsibility. So NFA, who are missing in action here, but the communities put this back to you. And it is a problem of management that is actually making these conflicts go out of hand. And you can see that almost 48% say it is the government to intervene. And when the government intervenes, we know that it's the conservation agencies that come down on the ground. I just thought this would be necessary for us to open up this dialogue. I didn't want to present the detailed research, but I want us to talk about waste-to-energy degradation as a conflict. And then we also look at these results that say government should do something to save our wildlife, isn't it? Even to address the human attacks or deaths caused by wildlife. Also the reverse, the destruction of wildlife by, say, communities. The communities here may not be responsible for logging or charcoal harvesting, but all the same, they are humans invading the forest. So this is just an eye-opener, and opening up the dialogue. I imagine that students of land use will be interested in management issues. How have the communities been involved in management of these resources? Have they also been parted to it being degraded the way we see them? So really, this is what I wanted to present here, open up the dialogue with. Thank you.
Organizing this meeting and such that we may have a dialogue. It has been a song, as Madam has been presenting. We have had a conflict for a long time, and we don't know when it will end and where it will end up. West Bugwe Forest. First of all, I will begin by saying the community, when you talk of encroachment, the community has not encroached on the forest land. But what has happened, as Madam was saying, we have a conflict between wildlife and the community. At the same time, our NFA bosses, first of all, at the top, they don't know what is happening down there. They have I don't know how they call them, their forest guards or assistants, who are placed down there to guard the forest. But they don't know. They as people who sit in the office don't know what is happening on the ground. But one of them happened to pass away some 3 years ago. I don't know whether it's 3 years ago. Can you remember? Why? He went and he got money from somebody to allow him to burn charcoal inside the forest. Then afterwards, he went and he called on the forest guys to arrest him. To arrest the charcoal man after paying money. So, he ended up losing his life. He was poisoned. So, back to the conflict. We have written some 2 letters. One is in the form of a memorandum, and we shall hand one to the National Forest Authority, then one to the Minister for Environment. Why? Let me talk about the depletion of this forest here. Direct to the point. Why? Why do we have guards and yet the forest is going out? Simple. The conflict between the community and the wildlife. We have baboons which come and destroy our crops. By the end of the day, people don't have food and they don't have what to put in their pockets. What happens? When there is hunger, when there is famine, they have to go inside, cut down the trees for survival. So, the problem of famine as a sole problem has contributed to the depletion of the forest. Secondly, we can't blame the charcoal burners because they have no hope of survival. They have to go look for hope of survival, both for income and for food. So, in brief, preserving the environment or keeping our forest alive. In fact, we want this forest, but the forest, since the inception of those offices inside the forest, we have seen more depletion of the forest. Some time back, we could burn charcoal, but still the forest was there. But since they brought some offices and placed there, the forest has seen a rapid depletion. Because some of the guards there, I think they don't have enough in their pockets. So they want more. And the community around also want to benefit from the forest via charcoal. Charcoal is on high demand in the neighboring towns. So, what can we do? The community has to be involved in preservation of that forest. Not by placing those funny guards around to patrol, to help those who sit in the offices to patrol, no. But to make committees, to form committees among the population to guard the forest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You had what the communities have had to say. Now, before we move to end, I want to ask the other community members. You agree with what the representative. That is also true. So that's their side of the picture. But
management plan area, which covers from Tororo through here up to the hill. You heard it from those staff when they were introducing themselves. I want to take this opportunity also to thank Uganda Wildlife Society for convening this gathering. I'm also especially pleased to meet someone whom I've been reading about in papers. Mr. Person, I've never met him. I'm glad I have an opportunity to yeah. You, the students, the business community around, our dear community members, and the teaching staff around. You will recall that NFA came into existence in 2004 as part of the structural process, and we are specifically mandated to manage central forest reserves in this country, which numbers up to 506, and West Bugwe is part of it. This forest forms part of the 14 central forest reserves under my management area, but the wider range, which is headquartered in Jinja, covers more than this. West Bugwe Central Forest Reserve, which has brought us here today, is 3,054 hectares in size, but 3,054 hectares, HA. Yeah. But this reserve, when it was gazetted in 1940, first gazettement, probably I wasn't there, but it must have been a beautiful forest, because about 2,000 hectares are supposed to be tropical high forest, and then the remaining also is the savanna grassland. But when you look at what is on the ground right now, the high forest must have reduced in size. Why? Probably it's the reason why we are here today. This forest existed since 1940 through different management regimes. That means management decisions were being taken to manage it. At some point, there was some harvesting that took place in 50s and 60s, up to 70s. And eventually, at some point, decision was taken to have it purely a protection forest. And as defined by Forest Nature Conservation Master Plan, we have about 2,410 proposed as strict nature reserve. But when we look at what is on the ground right now, it doesn't actually carry that sense. I so believe you students do understand the strict nature reserve we are talking about. It is because of some challenges which surrounds management of natural resources, both at local level, national level, even globally. So, when NFA took over, staffing on the ground increased, because originally it was under local governments, but when management came into the hands of NFA, staffing was increased, and management improved. That's why up to now we are at least able to see those trees. When you took a walk around, you're able to see. It is because of the efforts we are seeing. But
okay, let's we'll have the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him.
Maybe you also have your own vision of a tree. That's why you're saying there are no trees there. But to the best of my knowledge, there are trees. As far as management of this forest is concerned, we have challenges. And these challenges have not cropped in during NFS time. It has been there long ago. Literature indicates so. And I so believe it will continue being there. Many reasons will explain that. But one of the management challenges we face here is the issue of encroachment, illegalities, something to do with the agricultural fields. People are opening agricultural fields to produce food for home consumption. We have aspect of fuel wood harvesting. We also have this aspect of charcoal burning. But I can clearly say there are no aspects of timber harvesting in this forest because the soyable logs are basically not there. But this reserve was originally very rich in biodiversity, variety of tree species. If it hadn't been destroyed by the surrounding community to this level, because for us as NFA, we have been mandated to manage this reserve. We are actually custodians. We are doing it on behalf of everybody in this country. So we lead, but we can't do it alone. We partner with people like our communities who are still there. And any other organization that is interested in conserving and protecting nature. And I can happily say, I'm glad that UWS has taken this initiative to come on ground, have this kind of chat, so that we can together manage not only this kind of reserve, but many others in this country for the benefits we all know. NFA as an institution has opportunities that members of the public can take up to enhance management of forest reserves. And when I heard from the presentation of our community members that we should brush aside NFA and they should manage, they should form committees to manage, I don't think that will work, because this is science. Forestry is science, and there is aspect of this is so our law will not be known. Rather, they can partner with us. so that humanity for the benefits that will help everybody. These days they talk about the existing services which are really diverse, and unless we protect our forests, we are going to lose out on some of those services which will be benefiting for these forests. I'm glad to say that the government of Uganda has appreciated the level of degradation of forests in this country and has taken a bold step of supporting tree planting in this country. And it is specifically meant for the local people. We are raising seedlings that we give out to the local people. All what you need to do is to come out, express interest that yes, you need to come to our office, apply for it, and we shall give you. I've not taken a lot of time here because I was working in West Nile. But since I came, I haven't received anyone coming to say, I want to plant trees. Could you please avail me of seedlings? Not received that. So these are the opportunities I'll ask you to take. Then two, for us, as the custodians of this forest, we can't do it as I put it before. We have a core objective of partnering with the people like you. Most certainly the communities is what we call the collaborative forest management, which is the rest. We work together. We can even give part of this forest if we demonstrate the ability to manage it. And we should come out and address some of these opportunities for you. Even outside NFA, I so believe if you take time to conduct forestry office, with your local government or whatever, in any local government in this country, there are some projects. I don't know whether it's still on, but there's something to do with farm income, where they're supplying also seedlings to communities. This is the only forest, the little time I've taken here, I've seen, which is still standing and you can show to the world. When we move elsewhere, outside actually, I don't see trees. So what does the future bear for us? If we cannot take the initiative of planting trees, my dear community members, opportunities are there. We are here for you. The offices are here for you. You should come forward instead of looking at us as enemies. Because we have had incidences, and you must have had, not only here, in other countries, in other parts of the country, where the communities are brutalizing benefit staff. Just because we are saying, let us manage this forest resources sustainable. Let's have it today, and the generation to come also finds it around. I'm sure even incidences have happened in this area. I was interacting with one of my staff, Alex, who has worked here for quite a long time. There were cases of them being harassed. The extent that some staff were killed. I'm glad you were able to call it. These are some of the challenges we, custodians of these resources, face. But should this be the way we should do things? I put the challenge to you. I put it to you. I'm glad that some of you are local leaders. And we should also help the local people to know the right things. Send the right information, educating them, let them know how we should manage forest resources. A lot of this forest has dwindled so much because of really what I earlier mentioned, firewood harvesting, and it is something which has not been authorized by our offices. It is illegal being done. appreciate and I recognize that forest age communities are very poor, they need to survive. But what about the forest? If they disappear, what will the future hold for us? I had an opportunity of moving from outside. I came via Dubai. As I was sitting, as the plane was sitting, you see a vast area, sandy, no trees. But these people are fighting to have trees around. But for us here, instead, we are fighting to have the trees away. So, what does the future hold for us? It's a challenge to everybody. Not only the communities, even you who are coming to take over when some of us leave. It's a challenge for you. I think, having mentioned all those, NFA management is fighting hard to make sure this resource remains. That's why I am here. They are there. Even the local people who are with the local patrol around are there. And I'm also glad to say that the security organ, the government, has come out to support us. Right now, I have about 3 policemen who are stationed with us to energize effort to protect this forest reserve. But the biggest challenge is, I brought to you people, the community members, because cutting the trees down, converting them into charcoal, just because we are looking at it as an immediate livelihood alternative, but it's also be mindful of tomorrow. I think that challenge to you, some of you are community leaders, take that challenge, lead by example, educate your people. Let's join hands together to make sure West Bugwe Forest Reserve remains. Because when I was reading past records about this forest reserve, it was originally very big, but at some point, part of it was degazetted to be given to the community to settle. Are you looking at it like in future, even the remaining 3,054 hectares will be given to you, and we don't have trees here? I think I do not want to take a lot of our time, but this is the brief I can say about this forest reserve. As we continue chatting, if there are some questions that I can answer in this forum, I'll be glad to answer. But if I cannot answer, I'm glad that the management of the UWS is here. They will take it further and engage top management to discuss it further. Thank you so much.
Maybe that's why this dialogue is really very important. We have the views of NFA. We can take these views as views of NFA. And then we have the view of the community. And as I had corrected them about using the word funny guards, yeah? So they are not funny, but they are there. But I would like to make a correction on the presentation. Yeah, I come from Eastern Uganda, I come from Soroti. And before the diversion of using the, from Uganda, there's a diversion there of the road. Otherwise, everybody going to the Eastern North used to use that road. And I used to see that forest. Yes, I saw that forest, it did look like a forest. That's not a long time ago. We have walked the small bit we have. And we are told that what we have seen here is just about what we have seen where we have taken the short walk is what is basically in the rest of the forest reserve. assure NFA that I know what a tree is. Yeah? I am a botanist for a very long time. The definition of a tree is very clear. You can call what is in the picnic site, and very few along the main road, which used to be made, with huge trunks, very tall. Those are trees. The things we see there is not even a forest, that's a bush. Yeah? It's not a forest. So clearly, NFA, there's no forest there. That is a bush. I think that's the best way to start. I would like to commend the Uganda Wildlife Society, as the executive secretary said, to get many of these activities, to get people involved in what is happening in Eastern Uganda, or any other part except Western. I'm sorry to say that. But to get anyone interested in what is happening in other parts of the country, other than Western Uganda, is a very commendable job. So I am very happy that we have managed to get this gathering here to address this issue, because it's the beginning, and we are hoping that it's going to get better. Yeah? And it would be really nice to have us start with this forest, which is on the main road to the border of Kenya, and everybody sees it. We used to have international conferences with people traveling on road from Kenya, and they would stop to take a walk in the forest. I'm sure they would stop and say, but there's no forest. They will not find any birds, any interesting birds. So clearly there is a concern, there is no forest. But I will say that after taking that short walk, even though the forest is heavily degraded, there are smaller trees coming up, and they are a forest species. They are not just weeds or colonizers. So there is hope that the forest can be recovered. And so that's the correction for NFA. There is no forest. And the correction for the local people, we have to work with NFA to see that there's resources for all of the forest reserves, all of the national parks are surrounded by local communities. And these are poor communities, so you can't say that you're going to degrade the forest, because that's where you're going to get money. That's what happens without the other forest reserves. I know that there is a problem of water in the road. Isn't that so? Most of the boreholes are dry. And if you're going to lose all of this forest that's remaining, you're going to get even dry wells and dry boreholes. And then you'll have serious problems with crops. Okay, so there is already a problem of water here, and we need to conserve this forest. It would not be fine to have NFA doing thing on how to manage the forest, as you've had. NFA is saying the local people, yeah, are actually the ones getting the charcoal from there and the firewood. The local people are saying from the time NFA came in and established their office, that's what the office is, the forest is completely. So we have these two issues, and that's why I'm saying I think it's very good to have this dialogue. Now we are going to have the two groups, and we'll make our contribution to see what can be done. It's very important to invite people to these meetings, and they actually show up to do the discussion. So I'm glad that NFA is here. Even though we've had problems with the communities, we are here to listen to what the communities have to say, and the communities are happy to have NFA. Now we need to get involved and over here to see how we can work together.
One, I think it's pointless for the community to blame the NFA. It's pointless for NFA to blame the community. I think we all are concerned and want the forest there. And I had a community right. They did say they want to work with NFA. They did not say they don't want NFA, they want to do it on their own. Is isn't it? The fellow who read the memorandum. They were critical about the forest guards, but they did not say we want to do it our way. And I think it's not right to intimidate them about science. It's not rocket science. These trees are regenerating themselves. All they want now is to stop the charcoal burning that you say is not acceptable in this forest reserve. It's a total protection. So the question then is, why do we see tree cutting happening every other day with the staff on the ground, with the community willing to help stop it? What mechanism can we put in place so that you and me, if you like, can stop the tree cutting that is continuing to happen? That's what we need. And then, for the people who claim to be poor, and I know they are not poor, and they are not cutting it because of poverty, let's agree on how we can again work together with the different programs. Today I heard that NAD is going to give everybody whatever they want. If you want seedlings for coffee, they will give you. If you want pigs, they will give you. If you want chicken, they will give you. So where is the poverty? I heard from the LOCs. So if that happened, then this excuse of charcoal, because we want to make the money, won't arise. Now, UWS, this conversation is going on Facebook from amongst members of this community who are largely not resident here. And they told me to tell you that had this meeting or this dialogue or this walk happened on a Saturday, several of those individuals would be here to participate in generating ideas on how to improve on this issue. And so they have made a request that please arrange for another dialogue on a Saturday. I don't know whether NFA will say one a weekend. I've seen General Ronda fighting with his board because he calls a meeting on weekends. I don't know whether UWS will say one a weekend. I'm sure the communities will be there. These individuals have been here since 9 o'clock. Voluntarily on their own. And they have been asking me too, because as you say, that you hear about me, for them they live with me and I say, but you Professor, isn't there anything that can be done about this thing? I say, I'm not an FA, I'm not in the government, I'm just a local citizen here. But if you ask me to contact UWS, I will, and I did. If you ask me to speak to NFA, I've spoken to your range manager in Ginger before. I will. If you ask me to speak to the RBC, I will, and I've done. And I think that is how a few policemen were sent. Now, whatever, I don't know what those policemen are doing with you in the effort to stop the tree cutting. And I spoke to the head of the tourism police, who also told me he could send some other from that section. And I said, how regret. But if what this gentleman has said is true, then we really need to address that seriously. Because he did send somebody from this side, took money, and then again tried to go around. It was poison. And you alluded to the fact that a few people have lost lives in a similar manner elsewhere. So we just need to stop that kind of thing from happening again. Now, NFA certainly has a challenge. And maybe through this kind of, I should drop the word maybe, I believe that through this kind of relationship, some of the management challenges you have can be addressed. Get the voice of the people and say, look, whereas we have challenges of logistics and whatever, and manpower, people will work with us. Let's try this out as an experiment. Because suddenly you won't have resources to go around 500 forests. But you could have resources to do 10 of them and do it very well and showcase them. I've been to most of northern Uganda. The local forests are not there. Even some of the central forests, at least for us, we can see something. You know, in some of those places, they are all inhabited. They all cultivated. You see them on paper. So, I think rather than try to conflict with each other or escalate or blame each other, let's forge a partnership and go to the powers that be and say, look, we can change this situation together. And not allow you know, I've been a boss in Kampala a few years. And I know the tricks that you play community with management, you know, sometimes. Not allowed to be tricked into that. Simply insist, we can work with these people. This language of the community are the problem. They're the ones destroying, they're not on our side, does not help. This cooperative management, forest management program has been there for a very long time. We need to have places where we can go and say, it's working. And you take advantage of this very positive attitude from these people and others who are not here. Plus the NGO that is supporting us to showcase cooperative management here. This picnic site was done with support from UNDP, and I know UNDP has money for this kind of works. Those stalls for markets that have never been used either. So there are some government partners from whom we can leverage support for as long as we're speaking one voice. Thank you very much.
For that contribution, I'll take my advantage of being the chair. Yeah, to make the comment for Uganda Wildlife Society. This is the initial meeting, and I always say if you can get something started, you can move it. The most important thing is to get started, because others fail to start. So we have started the dialogue, and hopefully if I can organize another meeting so that we have a bigger audience and have much more senior people involved who can give us those decisions. Because I believe the team here can only pass the message to their bosses who will make the final decisions. But I believe that if there is conflict, it means the communities are realizing the need for the forest, which is very important. They realize it's important to protect and guard this forest. And the key thing is how we get the two sides working together so that the two sides see they see one another as a partner to work with, not an enemy. Because once we have the killings coming in and the police, I have never believed that when you bring the army and the police, you have security. Yeah. Once that comes in, you're reaching a dead end and you're coming to force people to be seen, and it doesn't work. Eventually, you have to get the groups talking to work out how they can be together. Yeah. So other contributions, questions? Yes, please. I hope someone is recording the.
Now, first of all, I have to thank WPS for such a function. Then I also thank Secondly, thank the community of Bugwe West for having this forest reserve. And then I think I have to thank NFA for the great job they have done so far. Yeah. My comment, first of all, I have to comment about the report given in by Dr. Nanoy. I think because in the report, the major thing I picked was that most of the interviews that were conducted, the answer button for 8% say the government should take over. I would wish to think that this one should be ignored because I think Ugandans have always blamed the government for such activities, which I think it is so much luxurious because we can't now start engaging in destroying and then we blame the government. Because if we are talking about this forest, I'm sure the depletion that has taken place, there was no any government spraying this forest here or any fire set by the government. So the citizens of Bugwe took it amongst themselves and their responsibility to destroy, and they now want the government to protect. However, I cannot disqualify the statement fully because some extent, as I have heard from the people who have spoken before, they say the government has not done enough. Because to some extent, someone has been pointing out to NFA, and I think I can't exaggerate that the citizens have been done little, but now what can the government do? That's my question. I think I will get the answer before we leave, but this is what I would wish. See, you are the one who will answer me, give suggestions. Because given the fact that the forest is being destroyed on some acquisitions and some excuses they give that get the firewood, that get the charcoal, so can we get alternative sources of fuel so that then we can protect the forest? That is my question. Then another one. According to the time we have spent here so far and the interactions that we have had with the locals, the pertinent issue as to why there is why the forest is being destroyed, I think the pertinent issue was about food security, even on the fuel and the others. Food security and individual security of human beings. I have had claims that the baboons that reside within the forest attack directly the maize, maybe even the sheep, the goats, and they take everything. And that's why they are used. So if there are measures by NFA have these wild animals gazetted inside, I think it would be then easier for citizens. It would be then easier for citizens to collaborate with you in managing such a forest. Thank you very much.
I was wondering, should we have a question and someone respond to it before the next? Yes, so we'll have the NFA respond. Yes, NFA respond. But before NFA responds to that, the question of farming, the animals raiding the crops. I think that the animals are managed by who are not NFA, isn't it? The animals, wherever they are managed by the Wildlife Authority, not NFA. And there have been problems of crop raiding, even when there are no forest reserves. And then it's blamed on Uganda Wildlife Society, so the Uganda Wildlife Authority. And usually there are no staff who are on the ground to manage the wildlife. Now here it's easy to blame NFA because the animals are coming from the forest. But NFA cannot do much to manage the animals from the forest reserves. But other people living around protected areas have had similar problems of crop raiding by animals in the forest reserves or the national parks. And they are already their policies on how to manage animals. There's compensation. And then sometimes the farmers are advised to grow crops that are not at the boundaries, crops that are not permitted.
is illegal. Because for domestic use, it is allowed. For commercial, you have to have a license. Because all activities inside there, you either have a license, you get permission from the authority, or you work within the management plan, because it has those works that define which work should be done. And whatever is there is supposed to is targeted to guide and protect the resource. So 33 allows them to collect fine for domestic use. But in some instances, like where we are in West Bugwe, it has gone through different stages, through different times, until the 70s when it was illegal. The depletion you are seeing today is a gradual, and when you want to define it properly, you define forbidden population growth. When population grows, demand comes in. That is a natural resource. So it is bound to be affected by the growth. In the 70s, after the depletion, it was changed into a protection forest. That means it should be majorly under protection. But communities access it. When he talks of the 2,411 district nature reserve, strict nature reserve is a no-go zone. When we are mapping or designing them, we color them red. We want nature to take its course. That means out of the 3,054, you remain with about 600 to be accessed. Which community will you allow access and which? The population of this area is big. That means the demand still goes in, and it will beat the 600 as it has already beaten it. So we find it that we have tried to be within them, given them 2 days for sustainable harvest of the resource. We give them Wednesday and Saturday. But today is a Thursday. You will find them.
Yeah, we saw them.
And when the government talks about firewood, you should go and pray. But if you went out, you'll find they have cut. We arrest them, take them in, they come out. They don't just walk free. There is a force pushing. For you to know what is depleting West Bugwe, I think we need more than this one day dialogue. So that we're bringing in very many people. You don't have any license to harvest the reserve. But people have licenses, and the district has none here. Busia per se has no local forest reserve. Go out and find out. It has no local forest reserve. Now, central forest reserves are for NFA. Local forest reserves are for the district. The permits for charcoal and firewood are from the district. Where are they supposed to get from? We are ever battling. When you get him out of the reserve, he's on the road, he will show you. And he will say, you met me on the road. You go in, you go to the school. We have cases. Personally, I have a case after court. I destroyed the killing inside, and I was wailing. These ones were like rebels. They came with sticks. Come after them into green. Go to the road, go to Castle, put the road, and began hitting us. I'm supposed to move from West to go back to Toronto. And you're finding issues. Where are you destroying? Are you destroying it out? Or you are destroying it in? If you are destroying it in, that means you are meeting an illegal activity in your area. And you are being fooled by the illegal man who has done it, who has built it, because you are stopping it. Issues of waste are many. You can't say that we are so straight. And everybody else pushing a hand and I choose. When I go in, I find it. So we needed the local government, because the local government manages the licenses. But we went and got a stakeholders meeting last year in November. The LOC friend told us who conclude his district should have 11. Where is it coming from? Here you are going, you are shouting, you people help us, our forest is going. LOC friend says he needs revenue to his district, and ask somebody also from who says, how do you what is happening in my place? But I appreciate the dialogue is so good. When we combine, we can have it. We have had CFM. CFM, collaborative forest management, is one way we can bring in communities into the forest. Because the initial, those other times, it was people out of the forest. So you were supposed to use, should I call it coercively, enforce the law. But to reach the time when it could life is growing, but still the resources growing too, not so. So we had to come in people into the forest. We want people into the forest on a win-win basis. But then we commit remember you want people to do it. So we want to do it so as to manage others who are going to be busy. We need more training. We have had CFM. I'm reading history. CFM came into these reserves in 1998. But I love that. Why is it difficult for today? That is what that means research. The academicians, we can make a pattern. We find out why is it difficult and how best can we have CFM. Because in other places, it's what we see magazines, we see newspapers, tracing what they've benefited by them being part of the management. They get to know more and love it better. The only way we can do to have them firewood is what the sector manager was talking about. We have the community national community planting program, which is both in the local government and ours is that community program, where they apply for trees. For us, we don't have a nursery. Our nursery is in Bale. We have Soroti, Bale, and Toro, that is for the range. So from those nurseries, we can access trees. And the people are coming, some of them talk of the distance, they can't go to cut. They want seedlings near, and we are still processing it. But as we plan to bring them the trees near, we also have something that can hinder us. That place has no water. And if you take it to other places, you may not be so good at managing it far away from ourselves than it being near us. Another way of getting them firewood, if not that one, it would be still under CFU, having them part of it. But today I had a community member, and he didn't know that I was part of NFA. He was telling us how the world has brought them into the forest, they have nothing to do, they have to be. I know him is from Namtereli. The chairman should know him. So we told him we can have a strip. That one has worked in other places. When you look at the mandate, the laws give you 5% of the resource. Come back to it. But when under CFM will guide you on what should be done and what should not be done. And by the time we are signing it together with you, you are also part of us. And that's why when we are signing the agreement, they give you the laws that manage the resource. That means we are not going to get anything new. We are going to follow. But in the process of following, that is why you are also benefiting from. Those are the different ways to
informative. I think we begin to see the picture. We begin to see the section of the forest that they can access, not everywhere. And this is a strict nature reserve. So I think that should come in place so that the local people do not access the whole. There should be only sections of the forest. Only sections of the forest should be accessed. Yeah, and then I don't know how you will enforce because they collect. I have seen several groups. I even took photos of them collecting firewood. And you say the first day is not the day for collecting, and they are collecting from all over. And we have seen what they collect. They are small because they are no more big trees. So they are actually having the forest. If it's for firewood, that's going to deplete even the young trees that are coming up now. So it will be impossible for the forest to regenerate. Outline the local communities. I think
also we came up with what we have gathered from the community. It's not our views, but what we collected from the community. So, what can the reason as why we came up with this suggestion of forming committees. We live with these people. They are so technical, and however much force you apply, you can't manage. Because there is so many policemen and whichever force. These people are so technical. They work on phones. They even have spies, they have guards also. Those who stay outside the forest, whenever they see forest guards, they read those inside and they take cover. Some of them go to the extent of going to the forest at night to cut down the chapel. So these are technical people. That's why I came up with that suggestion for me, which is protect the forest. With the force, it can be applied, but somewhere you have to fail. As it has failed, the forest is going. So, what you have to know about this community? There are two things around here. Somebody will welcome or will hide a charcoal banner if a tourist is being chased after the arrested. What happens in this community? They will hide it. You, as an enforcement or enforcement officer, you come. They will tell you he has gone the other side and yet they are keeping it. That happens. That one applies to charcoal banners and smugglers. Here, there is no way they can give up a smuggler. No. They have to make sure they keep very, very safely his things, his goods, whatever has smuggled, and hide him, give him safe way. Yeah. So that's the reason as why I came up with the suggestion of forming committees, local committees, to help, not to man, but to help you, the NFA, to manage the forest. Thank you very much.
That's the impression I get. But then when you tell me that the local communities have to hide these guys, yeah, we should be apprehended now. That doesn't really help. So it kind of brings the problem to the local communities. That's where the problem is. But the relations here, sorry? The relationship, yeah. Yes.
It takes about 3 weeks. But those supervisors they have never seen people burning charcoal. Burning charcoal takes 3 weeks. It is not all for one day. But I help them. I want them to ask.
So you will need to put this together then move forward as a team from the
Thank everyone, the NSA, Uganda Wildlife Society, and the community for organizing this function. If at all they have played part each. But one of the things I have realized, NFA, the way they look at the forest is different from how the community look at the forest. And I think that's why there is a lot of confusion. NFA may be looking at long-term benefits of the forest. whereas the community may be looking at short-term benefits of the forest. For example, to get survival for the present generation. But if we satisfy the present generation, what about the future? Then NFA says, let us keep for the future. But the present says, we are dying, cannot leave us alone. But maybe another challenge, the importance of the forest reserve around. Maybe NFA has not taken a step ahead to show the community those long-term benefits they are interested in. Say, if we clear the forest, we shall have drought, and even the little food you are having, you will not have it. Maybe people have not come to realize that, and it is the role of NFA to do that, to show the clear benefits of this forest if it stays there. Then, the role of the community, as we are all speaking, I've not heard, whether from this side or from this side, the role towards protection of this forest. I was amused by a certain part in that forest, although it is culture related, it is very intact. That means the community knows the function of that part. So if they knew the function of the whole part, they would have protected it. Then NFA should come in and clearly show that it is not only this part which is important, even the surrounding part is also important. But otherwise, if we say, I have done the right thing, I have done the right thing, you will not reach an agreement. Those who are Bible scholars, you know what happened when Eve was denying, Adam was denying. God ended up punishing all of them. And the snake. So if we cannot realize our mistakes, we shall not come to a conclusion. If we truly, as a community, you need the forest, sit down and preserve it. If you really see the benefits of this forest, then do your part. You cannot say that people have to enforce the law. Though the community may interfere with traditional what, you enforce the law, play your role, enforce the law, then we see what will come out. If you say we shall die, then we are fearing our responsibilities. I was amazed by the supervisor that I would love to have this forest as people are fighting for that forest from the other side. That is very important. As you look at the importance of Mavira, you also look at the importance of this forest. It has also significance to me, who is very far from this place. Talk of the water, rainfall, and the like. Therefore, my suggestion is, let each person know the responsibility towards that forest. But maybe, what I did not get clearly from NFA or from the community, if NFA came into existence in 2004, how was the state of the forest? Before we blame these people, was it intact? If truly it was intact, then NFA should check themselves or itself. If the forest was in a sorry state the way it is now, then we know the group to blame. I thank you so very much.
First, charcoal burning because we always see the scars where charcoal was burned from. So sensitization would be the major tool. We look at you talked of security. You understand the situation Uganda is in now. You can never have enough manpower to tour the forest in any case. So my issue was that if you have really the policy that is on ground, it is being implemented, so it must be, maybe I can say, coercive implementation of the given policy. Otherwise, the community still must also get what you feel should be between you, what you feel the forest should be. So it just need to work together. And tell them, give them their limits. Because now for me, I'm seeing the issue as if you don't want to talk to them, they don't want to talk to you. So the issue is who is who to benefit in any case. That is why its depletion has really been accelerated to the stage it is in now.
Communities, but we are just worried. Because when we try to analytically look at the views coming from the local members, they are saying at times they may hide charcoal burners or any other premium. So my question is the local community really interested in the role played by NFA, or you just want to take the forest management yourself?
Okay, we'll have the floor.
Sorry, my name is Charles. I work in tourism. I thank Uganda Wildlife Society and the community and NFA. From what I heard, I've been listening a lot. I go straight to tourism. Let's look at this place as tourism. Let's talk charcoal, let's talk licenses, cutting, whatever. If it means a demonstration, we can organize and come and demonstrate in this area. I want to see those baboons there, and I want to see you people living there. There is a park in Mansion Falls, or in Queen Elizabeth. They are lions. We don't have lions here. So let's work. I want to bring tourists here, and they see how you live. When we are driving, we saw a plane watering there or whatever. Everyone said, wow, was playing whatever. Most of them have never seen it. I don't like it because they kill our birds and whatever. But some of us, we've never seen it. As we are walking from the forest, we found people who are moving the sticks. This girl was sticking on me. What are these doing? She doesn't know this is a tourist attraction. So let's work together. Let's work together. Don't kill baboons, don't cut trees. But we shall find.
When she was in Bugwe, and she's the one who welcomed the when she was still a young girl. But they started by planting trees. They sensitized and trained the and they understood about they came when those people came here when the trees were full in that but unfortunately, as years went ahead, as they kept on changing things went on. They have tried telling people but as you look within among the villages, which are nearby, surrounding the forest, they have even up to now, as she's talking now, she has group members who are planting trees. Yes, but the problem they have, this forest, they are together with they have people from Mwayo who come and harvest trees from that forest. She hopes that people of NFA manager. There's one time she went to the manager and she tried to hire out. She told the manager that they have formed a group. They want to work together with NFA such that they can see that no harvesting. It was like there is no facilitation which can organize people together for a meeting.
Because if they come, what like if they can work together, so they can go to the local government. If they have some money, they would call the community members so that they can sensitize the community members. She left that to the manager. Then for her, she came back to the community. They tried to sensitize the community not to encourage the forest. They have a problem. There are these forest guards. They are seriously selling those She's telling you the truth. She doesn't stay here. But they come and buy in the evening, they enter and cut down trees. In the whole night, they are cutting down trees. And they are ferrying the trees. And they burn. Another thing is paining them, because that forest is for their generation. And the grandchildren and the other great-grandchildren. So if it's depleted and it's gone, where are we going to? That she's requesting the NFA officials and the community, we should work together such that this forest is rejuvenated and that people are going to manage coming together as one.
Strategic plan.
They should have a strategic plan as well. Where they manage the forest together with people should know the rules of the forest. They should also know where their limits are. Because if they just leave it, they will not get any benefit. She's very happy because today she's saying that we shall have to make friendship. Make sure that we come together with the Uganda Wildlife Authority, such that the forest
vision is West Bugwe.
Their vision of West Bugwe, it has to come back. She's requesting the NFA
and the community members
to come together
in the local government
with the local government. They should sit together as a team, so you can come up with one goal. That they are ready to see that they work together such that the forest comes back. Way back, the picnic site, she was the leader, she was the manager. She was in the market site, and even the market site.
A very big division.
They had a big division
of ecotourism.
Yes, as you've heard.
But
because of the changes, that's why you see that place looking like But if God wishes for that forest, nothing will defeat God.
Okay. The speaker from the communities. Thank you to the translator.
Have given me their petition. They are just like emphasizing what they want about management of the forest. So you really see this is a pressure from the community. They want to manage their property as what? Common property. And a common property management what? Regimes. I have the letter here, and I'm going to hand this letter to the minister and to the director of NFA. So they are demanding from government, give us our property and manage our property. I think you have really seen these things to be here, to be resource persons as good as they have been to you. They have done this out of their own willingness and out of interest for their what? Property, isn't it? I'm very grateful for NFA. We are working with them, but they have also put in their resources and time to be here with us up to this time. I also thank you students for being good students. I thank the other members of UWS, the tour companies, and individual ordinary members who have come for this nature walk. I think we all have a responsibility. Environment is our responsibility. Every one of us is going to talk about we want conservation of the West Bugwe Forest Reserve for economic benefits and what? Livelihoods. So we are also taking up your burden. We are also taking up the burden of NFA as a conservation, as an NGO, UWS, for us we are in the middle ground, isn't it? Linking the parties together to see that things happen well, and I'm going to do this so well. And so I thank you very much. I just want to say the dialogue is closed. They have asked us to come back. Another time we have the opportunity, we are going to come back. We're also going to take your grievances to where you have told us to take it. NFA, we thank you for your participation. We missed poor, but all the same, we are going to report back to them. Thank you very much. And